From the Sunshine State, this is Tampa Bay's 10 Talk.
Scary stuff to worry about regarding even more identity theft issues. Plus, is the writing on the wall regarding ebooks. And an interview with the professor himself, John Scherer. So stay tuned.
Rocketed from the dying planet Microsoft, raised by a kindly couple in the small town called Wazville, your PC hero grew strong knowing one day he would be the one to fight computer malware and ignorance. In his secret identity of mild-mannered tech reporter Alan Berebi, he fights for truth, justice, and the Jobsian way. And now, the one, the only, your PC hero.
Welcome, everyone, to your PC hero coming to your rescue every single week. And your PC hero's flying solo today as the Shogun is out doing something with either Kate Upton or Sukiyaki. Call-in numbers local are 727-441-3000, toll free 866-826-1340. Don't forget to check out the website, yourpchero.com, where after every show we put all the links to everything we discuss, including our freebie choices of the week, interview subjects, everything that can possibly be linked to is on the website shortly after the show airs. We also have a giant question mark on the right-hand side. Click on it. You get to ask us any question you want. We answer every single one, no matter what. But only one gets to be chosen to be on every single episode. And that winning question may win a prize as well. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Some of it is very, very scary. So take out your bottles and your blankies and curl up because if you buy anything with a credit card or online, you're going to freak out. The Target hacks. That enough has been freaking out a lot of people. And for those of you who don't know this, Target is offering 1 year of free credit monitoring. Even if you weren't affected by the hacks, they're doing it as kind of a goodwill, I'm sorry kind of a thing. And I highly recommend that people go ahead and sign up for that. And I will put that link also up on the website as well. But it's not just Target. These hacks are actually worse than we even thought. The amount of retailers that are being hacked is growing every single week. And the malware that's going to make these hacks even more prevalent are getting more and more sophisticated. Now, some of you may be wondering, is this even stoppable? I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure if anything will be able to prevent these hacks from going on and on. However, there are certain things that the United States is lagging behind other countries that are definitely making it easier for us to be hacked, especially the way we process credit cards at the stores on location. Every time I go to a store and I'm having to sign for my purchase, I'm always thinking to myself, this has got to be the stupidest system for doing charges ever, a signature. First of all, no one ever looks at the signature. No one ever looks at the back of the card to match up the signature. And no one even cares or thinks about, is that signature even real? They figure, oh, you know what? If it's a credit card that's been stolen, when I try to swipe it through, they'll report it and then blah, 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 and we'll know then. It's really an outdated system and something that a lot of countries, especially in Europe, are completely have gone away from them. They use something called the chip and pin system. And that's something that more and more stores are going to start implementing in the United States as well. And what it is basically there's a computer chip on the card itself. And what this does is it generates new numbers all the time. And you have to put a pin in there that matches what's on the system in order to use your credit card. Okay? A pin, obviously, if you share it, that can also be a problem, but it's a lot better than a swipe and a signature on the card. So, these hacks, they're getting worse and worse and worse. Retailers all over the place, Neiman Marcus Group, we're hearing about Zappos, also has some credit card hacks and breaches. What can we do? If there's anything that these companies can do, why are these billion-dollar companies taking so long to upgrade their systems? That's a very, very good question. And The problem is that we can't do this alone. The companies and the credit card companies together have to work on this. The government may have to get involved, even though, I'm not a big fan of government involvement in anything. But in here, they may have to. But this isn't even the scariest thing. There is something even more scary happening with identity theft. And are you guys sitting down? Because this is really going to shock you. There's been talk about something called the Real ID. And what that is under the guise of security and terrorism and all this other kind of jazz, they want to have a national ID, okay? You won't be able to get a credit card. You won't be able to get a driver license. You won't be able to vote. You won't be able to do anything without this new national ID. They call it the Real ID. And every time there's an event like the Boston Marathon bombings, the cry for this becomes more and more real. What this ID will have, it will have embedded in it your legal name, your residential address, your birth date, your gender, possibly your driver license identification number, social security number. You'll have a digital photograph and your signature. All right? This will be used to get anything. This will be used for identification and seems reasonable. You think about all the possible illegal immigrants and what services they'll be able to use. They wouldn't be able to do without this card. What about the negative effects? Well, first of all, one of the things that people don't realize when it comes to these Real IDs is there is a technology in there that is called the RFID that is so easily hacked that there have been instances where people have actually gone around and had this little computerized device and scanning ability, and they can get all the information off of your, let's say, your driver license, your brand new driver license. They can get all of it off simply by being in the neighborhood, because the way these things transmit the signal, it's, about up to 20 feet away, the signal is transmitted. So they don't even have to be near you. And they can pull everything off of this, either national cards or the new driver license that has everything in there, including your social security number. This is really, really scary stuff. And I'm not sure, because everybody wants to have this kind of wireless where you just wave your card transaction. But as we know from simply looking at all the hacks that happen in Wi-Fi hotspots, you go to Starbucks and the story after story about people stealing your passwords when you're at Starbucks and you log it into your email and log it into your bank, which you got to be crazy to do that in a public open Wi-Fi. Very similar to anything that's being transmitted wirelessly has the ability to be captured in the middle of the transmission. And these national IDs are even more susceptible to something like that happening. It is really, really scary stuff. And I highly recommend that you guys do a little research on it and see what exactly I'm talking about. There's a couple of different places, but the main one I'll tell you to go is liberty2010.org/realid. And again, don't worry about it if you're driving. I will post a link up on the website later today or tomorrow. But it gives you all the information, and it tells you a lot of the stuff, the people trying to fight this from happening, and also the dangers. Real ID, scary stuff, and we'll continue to follow up on it throughout the coming weeks. All right, another piece of news, more on the fun side, I guess. Flappy Bird. Has anybody out there heard about Flappy Bird? It is this really simple game that was on iOS and just exploded to the top of the charts. Very basic graphics. The guy supposedly was making $50,000 a day from the success of this app. And all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, he pulls it out of the App Store and Google Play on Sunday. He's making $50,000 a day off of it. He says the game is a success, but he's claiming that it's ruining his simple life. So he's pulling it. He's not interested in selling it. He's not interested in anything. Now, what's amazing about this app, this game, was he did zero promotion for the app, and yet for some reason, it skyrocketed to the top of the list. The rumor is that the evidence shows that the guy who invented the app, okay, his name is Dong Nguyen, that he actually created these bots. Now, for those of you out there who don't know what bots are, bots have been used in terms of click fraud with Google Ads, and basically it's a little software that simulates user input. So, for example, let's say you have, Google Ads and you want to either make money from clicks or you want to take your competitor who has a Google ad and kill his budget by constantly clicking on his ad over and over and over again because they have to pay per click. Now, Google has gotten sophisticated enough that they can minimize a lot of the fraud. They could tell it's coming from the same place. That's why I can't sit in my house and keep clicking on a competitor's ad and drive up their rates because Google knows this is probably fraud because the same IP address is clicking the same thing over and over again. So what happens is they create these bots and they do the clicking for you. And the rumor is that that's how he had the rise in Flappy Bird in the App Store by using bots to simulate people downloading it and making it appear to be extremely hot so that other real legitimate people start downloading and using it, and that he pulled it not because he was afraid of it ruining his simple life, which is the most moronic thing I've ever heard, but that he actually is afraid that it's going to come out and of course reveal that he was a fraud. The other reason he also wondering about is that if Nintendo complained because it's very similar to some of the Nintendo games in style, and that there was, supposedly threats of a lawsuit. But this thing has been very, very interesting. And I'll put up a link on the website that shows you the rank history of how fast this one game skyrocketed in popularity in just a short amount of time. Absolutely insane. If anybody out there has used Flappy Bird and wants to tell me a little bit about it, call in. I'd love to hear it. 727-441-3000, 866-826-1340. All right, last week, the Shogun and I spoke about Google and Motorola. Give you guys a brief recap. Motorola was bought by Google for over $10 billion. I'm not sure the exact amount. And then they had all these big plans. And not a year later, they decided to sell it to Lenovo. And if that company sounds familiar, that was the Chinese company that ended up buying the IBM ThinkPad line. And that's why they have the Lenovo laptops, which have dominated. They've been, I believe, the number one PC manufacturer out there right now. And they want to do the same thing with phones, so they bought Motorola. Now, those of you out there are saying, why the heck would Google have bought Motorola only to sell it a year later? And this makes no sense whatsoever. Well, it actually makes a little sense if you know about the other shenanigans that Google has been doing. All right? First, Google has been trying to do their own phone, with the Nexus and the Moto X and all that for a while now. And there's been some limited success. They've been worried about Samsung because Samsung is the dominant Android manufacturer, and they were worried about them having a little bit too much control. Some people believe that was the main reason why they bought the Motorola, was so they can have, some control back on their side. Well, now Samsung and Google has a much more tighter partnership, and maybe to appease them, Google says they're going to step back from phone manufacturing to make Samsung happy. And now that they bought Nest, which we also spoke about last week, those cool thermostat guys, that they're going to start doing more and more in the connected house and less worried about cell phones. I don't believe this is the case at all. This is what happened, guys. Google bought Motorola for one reason and one reason only, and it stinks to high heaven. And that is they bought it because of the patents. Okay, they were hoping they would own all these patents and they were generic. They're called standard patents for standard things like Wi-Fi, and hoping to be able to use this to flex their muscle and nail the iPhone, nail all the competitors with the patents. And what happened was none of it was able to come to fruition. Every judge wouldn't even listen to it. They threw it out. They called this, the shenanigans that is typical with standard patents, and they were not able to do anything that they wanted to with the patents. And they gave up, and they said, you know what? Since we can't really use them, let's just sell them and cut our losses, and that's exactly what happened. So it's going to be interesting to see what Lenovo does with Motorola, because right now it's an Apple and Samsung world, and we're just living in it. And I am waiting to see if a third competitor can come out. BlackBerry is going in the toilet, so that's not going to happen. Windows Phone, the rumor is that Nokia is going to come out with an Android phone, which is going to be shocking. That a Windows company is actually going to have an Android phone, though I hear it's going to look a little bit like the Windows OS anyway. So I don't know what's going to happen with Nokia. So maybe Lenovo and Motorola can do some damage, because the more competition, the better it is for us. All right, final topic before we go to the break. Speaking of competition, everyone knows when it comes to ebooks, Amazon is the big gorilla there. All right? We have Barnes & Noble. Let me tell you something. I was always tempted to buy a Nook. Something about, the packaging and the website. Visually, it appealed to me. But I never had a confidence that they were going to be around and that the books that I bought were going to be any good. And, of course, there are things out there where you can convert them and remove the DRM from the books and all that. But I didn't want to go through that. As I said, Amazon, I had more comfort that's going to be around a while, so I went with the Kindle. Well, apparently, Barnes & Noble's Nook division is going to be laying off tons and tons of people from the engineering division. They say it's not going to affect the hardware division. However, I just see this as another sign that I can't imagine that the Nook is going to last for much longer. And not only Barnes & Noble and the Nook, another company, Sony, okay, they had their own ebook system. They're closing it. In the U.S. and Canada, they're getting rid of it, and they're telling Kobo, which is another ebook, maker, you can have all our customers, sending all the customers over to Kobo. So Sony's gone. Barnes & Noble, not going to be much, soon after that. And this ebook world is going to be a monopoly, and that's going to stink. All right, when we come back from our break, we are going to have an interview with the professor himself, John Scherer. So stay tuned.
I used to hate getting cuts because the stinky stuff Mom used hurt worse than the cut. But now my mom uses Caricure Skin Protectant and it doesn't sting at all. Mom says that's because it's a water-based liquid bandage and doesn't have any chemicals. I can even swim in the pool and it doesn't come off. I've seen Dad use it on his running blisters and when he cuts himself shaving. He says he likes that it stops bleeding when he cuts himself. You should tell your mom to get Caricure. It's in the first aid aisle at Kroger. Caricure, healing the way nature intended.
All right, people, you love the show and now you want to help and you want to make some money too. You can come to your PC Heroes Rescue. We are hiring, that's right. We are looking for a salesperson. Part-time hours, full-time income, you cannot beat it. What do you think, Sho?
You can't make money any easier than this. I mean, this is like shooting ducks in a barrel here. All you got to do is come on here, get your dulcet tones on the phone, make a couple of phone calls from us, and the next thing you know, you're going to be rolling in barrels of money.
So if you want to apply for a job here with your PC Hero, all you got to do is go to the website, hit the Contact Us button, and let us take care of the rest. YourPCHero.com, come to our rescue.
Is your computer running slower every day? Tried those speed up your PC scams you saw on TV? Do you just need help but don't know who to call or to trust? Well, Your PC Hero is here to come to your rescue. Contact Your PC Hero by calling 813-793-7462 or emailing us at help@yourpchero.com. That's 813-793-7462. Or email at help@yourpchero.com. Your PC Hero to the rescue.
This is Your PC Hero, and everyone who listens to my show knows how much I love the little guy, the cool tech startup, the people who are doing fun things on the internet, even offline businesses that are using the internet to promote their stuff. Well, if you have a business or a cool story that you want to talk about on my show, then give me a call at 813-444-3761. That's 813-4401, and you too can be on Your PC Hero. How exciting is that?
No more excuses. Get your business online and let Your PC Hero come to your rescue with your domain, hosting, and traffic building needs. Your trusted name on the radio is also your only choice for domain registration, website and email hosting, and tools to generate online traffic. Go to yourpchero.biz for more information. That's yourpchero.biz to the rescue of your biz.
Does your business need a website and professional level email, but you do not have the budget for it, or you think you don't? Well, I have the solution for you. KRBWeb.com. That's right, KRBWeb.com. For as low as $6 a month, that's right, $6 a month, you can get website hosting, email with your domain, a free domain name, and it has a built-in website builder, so you don't even need a web designer. So get started, get your business on the internet at KRBWeb.com.
Have a question? Call in. Our numbers are 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340. That's 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340.
Alrighty, Your PC Hero coming to your rescue every single week. And don't forget to check out the website, yourpchero.com, where we'll answer all of your questions. Just click the giant question mark button on the right-hand side. Send it to us. Every single question gets answered, but only one gets chosen to be the featured question of the week. And also, our call-in numbers are 727-441-3000 and toll-free 866-826-1340. Now we have a very, very special guest with us. You've heard me tease this interview as the professor, and it's not the professor on Gilligan's Island who passed away a few weeks ago. This is the video professor. You've probably seen his face on all those how to use Windows discs. John Scherer, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Hello, John, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for that nice introduction.
You are very, very welcome. Tell us a little bit about, the days that led up to the video professor.
Well, it was like any business. I say it was tough. It was a lot of people think you just fall into it, but for about 5 years we struggled, for at least 4.5 years, and we struggled getting it out there. People thought I was nuts. I probably am, but they would say it to my face, no problem, especially the employees when I came up with the idea. But we switched. We were making computers at the time, and we switched from that to making videos and selling them. We had about 2,200 mom-and-pop computer dealers all across the country, and we started selling our video lessons to them, and then we got on television. We did an infomercial in 1991, and that's what changed our world.
But what made you decide to go ahead and do this kind of computer education? What was the impetus to start doing that, and how long ago was it?
That was 1986, 87. We were building the IBM clones, and we needed a lesson. We were going to make a lesson on how to use a certain software program for Charles Schwab customers, and because he had an investment program, so we were going to make the video, and somebody said, well, we probably need to make a video to teach people how to use the computer, teach them. And I said, no, just go out to a how-to store and find that. And we went out, and there was absolutely nothing. So we started making videos. DOS, you're probably too young to remember.
I remember DOS, but thank you for that too young comment. I appreciate it.
Well, DOS was the first one we made, and then we started making DBase and Lotus, WordPerfect. If your listeners, if they know any of those titles. One day I remember waking up, or one evening, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, oh my gosh, after we do these 5 titles, what are we going to do? We'll be done.
Right.
And I lay there, and all of a sudden it dawned on me that no, Microsoft is around. They'll be making lots of software, and I went back to sleep. So, since then we made probably had 60, 70 different titles, teaching people 60 or 70 different subjects.
Now, did you, the way you're telling the story here, it almost seemed like you started the videos as an add-on for the computers. When did it shift to actually the videos themselves being their own business?
As soon as we saw them start to sell. We were asking the dealers if they'd take them, and they were hesitant at first. Then they did. When it really stood on its own was when we switched, because the dealers were taking them. Some big stores took them. There was a few big stores, like the Pace was one of the big discounters. They're no longer around.
I used to work for them. I was a manager at Pace Warehouse.
Okay, Pace Warehouse. The problem with Pace Warehouse was they wanted to lock them up under in a little case because people would steal them.
Right.
And we said, well, you can't lock them there. They're not going to sell sitting in that case. So, but anyway, then we did the infomercial and going direct to the people, because I always said if I just had a room full of people and could tell them about this product, they'd buy it. I didn't know the room full of people was the television audience.
Right.
But that's what it became.
And let me tell you something. It's such a simple idea, but I don't know why no one else thought about it, because if I had to read a computer manual to learn how to do something, I'd shoot myself. It's so boring.
Yeah,
but the fact that it's on video and actually showing you how to click and actually doing the practicing, that's what makes it so great. And so, what was the thought process between doing it as a video and also doing it as a clicking, kind of a practice type of software?
What we knew we wanted to do, hence Video Professor, but we knew we wanted to make it interesting. You can also, there's videos out there that are very boring.
Right.
I could have sat on camera and just talked about learning, and that would have put people to sleep. I wasn't on the videos, nor was my voice or anything. But we tried to create them to be interactive with a student, to show the keyboard, to show things on the screen. And we became very good at it, to keep it interesting, because just like any other video, you have to have it interesting in order for people to stay with it. So that's what we did. We decided early on that we needed to, because we knew other people were going to get into our space, and we needed to get there the quickest, be the most well-known, and be the best at what we produced. And I'd say we accomplished that. But I can tell you, and I'll tell your listeners, that we were not the largest in the business. I left there in 2010, but we were not the biggest computer learning company out there. We were really the only one you ever heard of, or the one you heard the most about. But there were some that were giants that were 5-6 times as big as we were, but you never heard of them because they didn't put themselves on television.
Right. What made you decide to do that? What made you decide to do an infomercial? Just the lack of sales at the retail stores? Was that the sole impetus?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is exactly, you got it. That's exactly right. I said, we're going to die here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to die. We know the people want it, so we shot an infomercial as cheap as we could, worked hard at getting the offer to work. We rang the phones very well. Initially, we just rang the phones. But
when you say as cheap as you could, did that include you being the host?
Yes, because I was free.
Right.
I was free. We paid Jeff Conaway, the late Jeff Conaway. People may remember him from Taxi.
Yeah.
But we paid him $5,000 is all we had to pay him, and some royalties. But we paid me nothing. We shot it for less than $20,000 all in, and the cheesy little spot we did rang the phones, and once we figured out what the offer needed to be, we sold them left and right. If you can ring the phone with a commercial or an infomercial, that's the biggest part of the battle. Then you just have to figure out, well, what is our offer? Are we offering 3 different levels? Are we offering 3 different subjects? Are we offering – you just got to figure that out. And then how much? So once we figured that out, then we started spending money. We didn't have money. We didn't have any money.
Right. How many different products did you end up doing with the Video Professor?
I think there was 60. The biggest – what do you think our biggest seller was? Did you know any of our titles?
Yeah, I actually bought a few of them. I would have to guess Microsoft Office.
No, that's a good guess, though. That's a good guess.
Photoshop. Those are the 2 that I bought. I bought the Adobe Suite, and I bought the Microsoft Office one.
Well, of the productivity software, those were the biggest. Microsoft Office was. But of all our lessons, the biggest seller was eBay.
Really?
How to learn to buy and sell on eBay. It was so big that we did 3 more videos. We normally did beginner, intermediate, and advanced. We went out and did 3 more levels. I forget what we called it, super advanced. I don't know, but it was that was the number one seller. That was the big demand. Everybody wanting to learn to buy and sell on eBay.
I would never have guessed that. But I will tell you something funny, though. Even though you're a infomercial pitch guy, I did buy it in a retail store, both of them, at the old CompUSA. That's where I found them.
Oh, okay. Yep. We ended up in a few retailers. The hard thing for us, why we weren't in retail, is because I was giving one of the lessons away free on television. So we couldn't, to go to retailers with it, there was a tough sell. Retailers wanted it. We ended up in Walgreens in there, as seen on TV. We were in Walmart at one time, but retailers came to us, that's for sure, because we were just pounding it so much. But television, we sold almost $1 billion worth of computer learning.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was just direct to the consumer. I'd do it the same way again. It's just the best way for that computer learning. I know there's other companies that are in retail, but I think they just kind of dabble in it. They just didn't pound it out there.
When did you realize that, even though you were free, that you were going to stay the face of the Video Professor series and not be replaced by a paid actor?
It never became a consideration. We never talked about that, actually. I just did it. I never wanted to be on television. I didn't want to go on QVC, but QVC said, no, we want the CEO. We want the owner. Mm-hmm. That's the only way they would take it. And then when I did my first commercial, I told production, I told marketing, you can video me sitting on the couch talking about our product, how great it is, and then you can edit it together and see if it works. And that's how I started with it. But it was never anything that I really wanted to do. And then because it worked so well, I just stayed doing it. It was easy for me to do because I was so enthusiastic about the product and knew it so well.
And it also helped a presidential candidate, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
Tell us about that, how that came about.
Somebody put that video together. That was not us.
Uh-huh.
So whoever did that, that was very nice of them. I remember when I first saw it, somebody said, you got to watch this one.
And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, John McCain, there's a video on YouTube of him using the Video Professor to learn how to use a computer that just went crazy, went viral.
Yep, and truth be known, he didn't know how to use a computer. We were then trying to contact him during his campaign, and we missed each other. We were going to try and connect because it was kind of it was funny, but then we heard he just didn't know how to use a computer.
Right.
He fumbled around with it, but yeah, that was a clever one. And then one time Jimmy Kimmel had. He talked about me. He talked about John McCain one. I don't know if you ever saw that on Jimmy Kimmel, but he said, he put up a picture of John McCain, and he said, who does he look like if you put a mustache on him? And it's striking that we look very much alike.
Right.
And we've had there was some crazy stuff. I was in Mad Magazine.
Really?
They did a thing about me in Mad Magazine. You made it when you get in Mad Magazine.
Right.
You know you're there. But it's a lot of work. But television really branded the company. It branded me. You know who I am today because of television.
Right.
And so I've kind of gone on now to we've got a show called Products in the News, and it puts companies with products on television. It helps brand them. Anyone wanting to get on television with their product, you can go to productsinthenews.com and see it and see what I'm talking about. But
let me ask you about that. Why did you leave the Video Professor to go do this?
It was just time. It was just time. One of those things. I don't really have a good reason, but then I've done some other things since, and this Products in the News show is interesting. It's fun, and it can help people get on television and brand their product. So I'm doing that. I've got a free ebook for your listeners. If I may, just tell them to text me.
Okay.
They don't text me. They just text 77948. 77948, and in their phone, in the message area, type in News 1, NEWS, and the number 1, and that will kind of reiterate exactly what you and I are talking about.
Okay.
If they do that and hit send, they'll get a free ebook from me. They can read about the early years. It's I think they'll find it interesting reading.
Well, I will put that up on.
I'm not selling them anything.
Yeah, I will put that definitely up on the show links after the show is over. So don't worry about it out there, everybody. I will put the link where you can get the free ebook from John Scherer, the Video Professor. We will definitely do that. So what do you got going on now? Something I saw something very interesting. The hurricane.
Oh, you saw the O2 hurricane, did you?
Yes. Tell me about that.
An inventor came to me back in 2011. Do you know what canned air is?
I do. I use it all the time. I'm a IT guy, so.
Okay, stop. Stop. Go get the O2 Hurricane. If you go to o2hurricane.com, you can see it there, and how it cleans and how it'll clean your keyboard and do all that. We have tons of IT people using it because, as you know, canned air is not air, it's gases. It's compressed gases.
Right.
And it dies out after about 45 seconds. Well, canless air that we have is rechargeable like your cell phone. Okay. And it'll run for 20 minutes. So imagine you can clean anything you need to clean. Blow your dashboard of your car, you can clean your computer, you can clean your workbench, you can clean window blinds. It's amazing the stuff you'll find that you can't clean otherwise. You can blow it out with our canless air. IT people that use this, we have Redbox. You know who they are, the video. They use them. They have over 1,000 of our units to clean their machines out. They clean slot machines with it. They clean ATM machines with it. Companies clean cash registers with it. Stores clean with it. After hours, they use it to dust all their shelves. It's I don't know if you've just heard about it or if you went and looked at it, but it's an amazing product, and it gets rid of canned air. I mean, you pay I don't know what, $7 to $10 for a can of canned air.
Yeah, it's a ripoff.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Right. Well, this thing is warranted for a year, 2 years. One of them is, and it just runs forever. It'll just run and run and run.
How long does it have to take for a full charge?
You charge it up. It takes a couple hours maybe. Well, they come fairly charged, but make sure it charges up. There's a little green light on the charger, and once it's charged, you can pull that trigger for a straight 15 minutes, and it'll run at over 220 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good shot of air coming out of there.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
It really is. It's been a fun project, and the world's just starting to know about it. We're in Canada, and we're branching out all over the world.
That's amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on or link to before we finish this interview?
No, but anytime you would like to have me on, you think of the questions when it dawns on you. Seriously, anytime you got stuff you want to talk about, get a hold of me. Just shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to come on and talk with you about it.
Well, I really, really appreciate it. John, this has been a fun interview. I wasn't expecting all this stuff. I knew about your background from the Video Professor series, and like I said, I was a user, and it was without question the best way to learn, computer stuff. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Thank you.
And now with the products in the news and the can of air, which is very critical for me, it's been a very pleasant surprise, and I definitely want to have you back again soon.
It's been very enjoyable at this end.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you and your listeners.
All righty.
Okay.
All right, when we come back from our break, we're going to have our listener email and some product reviews, so stay tuned.
I used to hate getting cuts because the stinky stuff Mom used hurt worse than the cut. But now my mom uses Caricure Skin Protectant and it doesn't sting at all. Mom says that's because it's a water-based liquid bandage and doesn't have any chemicals. I can even swim in the pool and it doesn't come off. I've seen Dad use it on his running blisters and when he cuts himself shaving. He says he likes that it stops bleeding when he cuts himself. You should tell your mom to get Caricure. It's in the first aid aisle at Kroger. Caricure, healing the way nature intended.
All right, people, you love the show and now you want to help and you want to make some money too. You can come to your PC Heroes Rescue. We are hiring, that's right. We are looking for a salesperson. Part-time hours, full-time income, you cannot beat it. What do you think, Sho?
You can't make money any easier than this. I mean, this is like shooting ducks in a barrel here. All you got to do is come on here, get your dulcet tones on the phone, make a couple of phone calls from us, and the next thing you know, you're going to be rolling in barrels of money.
So if you want to apply for a job here with your PC Hero, all you got to do is go to the website, hit the Contact Us button, and let us take care of the rest. YourPCHero.com, come to our rescue.
Is your computer running slower every day? Tried those speed up your PC scams you saw on TV? Do you just need help but don't know who to call or to trust? Well, Your PC Hero is here to come to your rescue. Contact Your PC Hero by calling 813-793-7462 or emailing us at help@yourpchero.com. That's 813-793-7462 or email at help@yourpchero.com. Your PC Hero to the rescue.
This is Your PC Hero, and everyone who listens to my show knows how much I love the little guy, the cool tech startup, the people who are doing fun things on the internet, even offline businesses that are using the internet to promote their stuff. Well, if you have a business or a cool story that you want to talk about on my show, then give me a call at 813-444-3761. That's 813-4401, and you too can be on Your PC Hero. How exciting is that?
No more excuses. Get your business online and let Your PC Hero come to your rescue with your domain, hosting, and traffic building needs. Your trusted name on the radio is also your only choice for domain registration, website and email hosting, and tools to generate online traffic. Go to yourpchero.biz for more information. That's yourpchero.biz to the rescue of your biz.
Does your business need a website and professional level email, but you do not have the budget for it, or you think you don't? Well, I have the solution for you. KRBWeb.com. That's right, KRBWeb.com. For as low as $6 a month, that's right, $6 a month, you can get website hosting, email with your domain, a free domain name, and it has a built-in website builder, so you don't even need a web designer. So get started, get your business on the internet at KRBWeb.com.
Have a question? Call in. Our numbers are 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340. That's 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340.
I have a lot of experience with the whole computer thing, you know, emails, sending emails, receiving emails, deleting emails. I could go on.
All righty. And speaking of emails, we have our email question of the week. And it's a good one. It's from Kelsey from Brandon. Should I use Apple Mail or Outlook for my emails? I have a Gmail account. All right, Kelsey. Well, you're talking to someone that's a little bit prejudiced against desktop email programs. I am not a big fan of them. I've seen too many situations where either the Outlook database has gotten corrupted or a hard drive crashes, and now it's going to cost an obscene amount of money to go ahead and recover your data. I'm of the belief that if you can do anything web-based, that's always a preference. For example, I also use Gmail for all of my emails, both business and personal, and I don't have to worry about it. I know I can go to any computer, log into my Gmail account. There's all my emails. If I have it on my phone, it matches the phone and the website matches exactly. I don't have to worry about, well, I sent an email from my desktop at home, but now my sent email is not on my work computer and all that nonsense. I am a big fan of, like I said, just having everything web-based. Now, if you're insisting on having a desktop program, either one is fine. Obviously, Outlook has the integrated calendar and all that jazz. It's also a little bit easier to back up with the one database, but Outlook on the Mac is still not great. I personally would use, if you're an Apple user, I'm assuming you're also an iPhone user, use Apple Mail and the Apple Calendar and the contacts, and that'll keep your life simpler. It's very easy to add. Just pick the Google option, and within a few seconds, you can add your email. But personally, again, Kelsey, great question. It's one I get a lot, but I'm going to say I prefer webmail, and then if not, I would use Apple Mail. I used to say Thunderbird, but it seems like development on that has slowed down. All righty. Now we're going to come to a brand new section of the show, and that is product reviews. You know, your PC Hero is so famous, especially when I was out in CES. I had screaming fans follow me everywhere, just like the Beatles, and everyone wants me to talk about their products. Well, I got some really nice ones in the mail recently, and I'm going to tell you about it. And now, just because I got them in the mail doesn't mean I'm not going to be honest. You know me. I tell you exactly how it is. We're going to start with the big boy on the block, and that is the Slingbox 350. For those of you who may or may not remember, because Slingbox has been around for a while, they were the first ones to do the whole watch your TV anywhere you want to go. All right? And what it was a box you hooked up anywhere close to your cable box, and whatever was on that TV, you could access it on the website. All right? It's been around for years. Well, I ran into these guys over at CES, and they sent me the 350, which is their basic model, and they wanted me to try it out and use it, since I used to have a Slingbox a long time ago before it died. Well, let me tell you something. I like the Slingbox a lot. There are a couple things I would have changed, but overall, you can't get an easier way of having your TV be available anywhere you want with this device and not have to pay a monthly fee. You know, the cable companies really should be doing this. You should be able to watch your cable TV anywhere. I know Dish is doing some stuff like that, and there may be some exciting news coming down the line with the Dish network. But until all this happens, if you want to watch every single thing that you pay an obscene amount of money for every single month, Slingbox is the way to go. There are some problems, not problems, but some things that I wish they would fix, okay? First of all, whatever TV you have the Slingbox on, you can't use it, all right? For example, if you have it on your living room TV and you're at work, nobody else can watch your living room TV unless they're watching the exact same channel because you're controlling it from your office, okay? So that could be a problem for some people. Luckily, I put it on a TV that's very rarely used, if ever, during the day, so I don't have this issue. The other thing is, on the basic model, there's no HDMI yet, and it's Ethernet. It's not Wi-Fi, because you have to have internet, obviously, to be able to stream the video wherever you go. The interface is good. I mean, what happens is basically when you go through the walkthrough, it'll pull a visual image of your remote control. So you're actually controlling the remote control when you're at your office looking at your home TV, which is good, but there's a noticeable lag which can be annoying. Look, once the channel's up and you're watching, it's great. You have no problems. Clear image. You get to see everything on your TV. It's great. But I wish the remote control functions were a little bit more, quick. There's too much of a lag on the remote control. I also like to see Wi-Fi and HDMI, which they do have that on the greater model, the 500 model. So, but still, a one-time fee, and you get to watch all of your videos on the Slingbox. You can't beat it. I mean, it's really an amazing device, and they got some more cool stuff. The only other negative is that the iPad and the iPhone app cost a significant amount of money, $15 for each of them. To me, if you got the Slingbox, you should have the app. There should be a way maybe they can put the price within the Slingbox so you don't have to do it. That's the other big negative for it. But other than that, great device. Like I said, if you want to watch your TV anywhere you go, you can't beat the Slingbox 350. And I'll put the link up on the website too. All righty. Got a couple other things. We got the New Guard cases, the KX cases from MaxSales.com. I got to tell you, amazing cases, very protective. They're not waterproof, but if you want a slick, not a bulky case like the OtterBox sometimes is, nice, slick, but very protective, you cannot go wrong with the New Guard KX case. And then I also got the Preon LED flashlight, and that's from the guys at 47s.com. Great little flashlight, very bright. Takes regular batteries. You don't have to worry about the charging thing. Will stay full bright for up to 45 minutes. Very cool. And again, I'll put up the links up on the website. All right. We've got a couple of minutes left. And now we come to the best part of the show, because obviously the Slingbox 350 costs money, New Guard costs money, and then the flashlight costs money. Well, now we come to the freebies, the things that me and the Shogun pick every single week that cost you nothing. Very useful things. Not freemiums or not things that are free for a trial. These are completely 100% free. And the thing on my list is from our good buddies at Kingsoft. I've mentioned them before as the best free Microsoft Office alternative out there because it looks like Office. It saves in Office format by default. It is wonderful. Well, I didn't know this, but now they have a free Office app for Android and iOS. All right, so you don't have to go spend an obscene amount of money on some of these Office suites. They got one for Android, Kingsoft Office. You look it up, and again, we'll put the links up on the website. You can have an Office suite, open up Excel, Word documents, PowerPoints, whatever, on your Android device or your iOS device. It cannot get any simpler. Kingsoft. All righty, well, that's it for this week. I want to thank, again, John Scherer, the video professor, being one of the best guests we've ever had. And, again, go up on the website, yourpchero.com, and you can see the link to everything we discussed. And I'll be back with the Shogun next week, baby. We're out.
WTAN, Clearwater, Tampa Bay. WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay. WZHR, Zephyr Hills, Tampa Bay. Listen.